Greetings, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. It's Christian of Standing Stones Healing, of course, creator of the Reiki Business Collective and the Build Your Reiki Business program, and host of the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. And in this week's episode of the podcast, we're talking about Skool. Skool for your Reiki business. Now, when I say school, I don't mean SCHOOL school, although yes, indeed, the learning never stops with our Reiki business, but rather SKOOL school, which is a new social media platform. Have you heard of Skool? Drop it down below. Let me know in the comments if you have heard of Skool, and let me know what you think of Skool. Now, I took some time to check Skool out to see what it is all about and to see if it is a good fit for Reiki business. Now, it may or may not be a good fit for your Reiki business. Of course, we all have our own individual Reiki business, and we all build our Reiki business in the way that resonates with us. But in this week's podcast episode, I'll drop that link down below so that you can go there straight away. I talk about Skool. I talk about what it is. I talk about what I think of Skool. And to be honest, some of what I think about Skool may indeed surprise you. But what is Skool? You can think about Skool kind of like a big Facebook groups platform. So it's like Facebook groups, but it's also unlike Facebook groups. I'll explain in a minute how it's unlike Facebook groups. But in Skool, it is a bunch of groups, and you are able to join groups that you want to be a member of and that you want to connect with others on that particular topic. Now, on Skool, there are paid and unpaid groups, and these paid groups are monthly memberships. So you can join free groups in Skool, and you can also join paid groups that charge you monthly in order to be a member of that group. The amount that a group might charge monthly is up to that group's owner, whether it is a couple of bucks a month or it is way more per month, maybe even $100 a month, more than that. Whatever, you can set your own price as the group owner. And so Skool has paid and unpaid groups that you can become a member of. What goes on inside of these groups? Well, the inside of these groups are very much like an old school discussion board. You probably remember, or you may not remember, but you might remember the old school forums online where it was really just a bunch of posts and comments within that. Very uncluttered, no big images like there might be on Facebook in groups. And just a way to see comments, see questions, and connect in the comments. And so Skool is very uncluttered in its membership groups. Something else that's a feature of these groups is the calendar, where you can see what's happening within the group, any upcoming events or things like that, and the classroom component. And so Skool has a built-in classroom component where you can upload content to create courses within your group, which is a pretty neat feature of Skool. And so you can use Skool as an all-in-one kind of function for your Reiki business. Let's say in your Reiki business you wanted to offer a Reiki course and you built that on Skool. So the way that it would work on Skool is that you put in your course content. It's there under the classroom content tab, and you maybe even have events with that group, but you charge members a monthly fee to have monthly access to the group, to the course content, and really that community and that learning. And so that is something that you can do with Skool, particularly if you want to set up a kind of membership subscription-based service for any course content that you might have. So those are some positives about Skool. I think that Skool, as of this point, Skool has thousands of users. I fully expect the number of users to grow on Skool. I fully expect that to increase, and I do not believe that Skool is like a Clubhouse, for instance. By the way, does anyone know what Clubhouse is anymore? What happened to Clubhouse, right? Clubhouse was a new social media platform, and that is gone. You know, new things come and go online all of the time. New platforms, new things always coming and going online. I do think Skool has a little bit more staying power than other social media platforms. I have a couple of reasons why I believe this. One of those reasons I share with you on the podcast, and that reason may indeed surprise you about the way that Skool really works on the back end. But here's one big downfall of Skool. One very big downfall of Skool that may seem like a real positive on the surface, but is maybe not so positive for Skool's future. And that is, drum roll please, the lack of an algorithm. The lack of an algorithm on Skool. Okay, so hear me out on this. You know, everyone is always bemoaning the algorithm. Oh, the algorithm. Oh, I can't stand the algorithm. Oh, you know, oh, the algorithm is against me. And maybe that might be a big worry and concern for you. But here's some real truth about the algorithm, everyone. It helps us. As much as we might like to bemoan the algorithm, as much as we might like to cry about the algorithm, the truth is that the algorithm actually helps more than it hurts. Here's why. The vast majority of social media users are scrollers. The vast majority of social media users are scrollers. You may very well be watching this video right now because it showed up in your feed and you scrolled and saw it. And so the chances are very good that you are a social media scroller because most people are. Now, the other way of using social media is as a searcher, in which you specifically go to the things that you want to participate in, the people you want to follow, and specifically go with intention to check out their stuff. Probably you watching this video were not specifically saying, I want to go see what that Christian guy has available, and I want to go intentionally to his Facebook page or his YouTube channel and check that out. Probably that is not you, simply because that is not most people on social media. But yet, that is how Skool works. Skool does not have the central feed function where you log in like on Facebook or Instagram and you just scroll and scroll and scroll through what the algorithm gives to you. Now, some people may say, that's amazing, I love that, and that's awesome. And that might be you. As a social media searcher, I'm not a scroller. I can tell you that I liked that function of Skool and was like, whoa, no scrolling. This is great. I use this with intention, which is how I use social media. But in order to interact in groups in Skool, you've got to go with the intention to visit that group and interact with it. Now, I'm the founder of the Reiki Business Collective, and that group has more than 2,000, approaching 3,000 members in that group who are Reiki business owners or who are interested in Reiki business. But I will tell you that when people interact in that group, they are not oftentimes specifically going to the group to scroll through the group and see what's in the group. They may very well, but many more people are interacting in the group because they came across the post that showed up in their feed. But to interact in a group in Skool, you've got to go specifically directly to that group, which is one reason why I feel that many groups on Skool are, quite honestly, kind of dead. It's because there is no algorithm feeding the content to someone who might just happen to scroll by. Now, will this change with Skool? I don't know. The Skool founders and investors are pretty darn savvy, and they might catch on to this deficit in Skool at some point, and they may very well be completely aware of it and capitalizing upon that, because like I said, there's another side to Skool that I share with you in the podcast. So what do you think about Skool? Drop it down below. Let us know. The link directly to that podcast episode is below so that you can tune in and learn a little bit more about my thoughts on Skool. Are you using Skool for your Reiki business? Will you use Skool for your Reiki business? Let us know what you think. Sending so many blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business.